The auditorium was packed to capacity with young people who wanted to be part of the G20 discussions. A panel of students shared their ideas, with some being student entrepreneurs. Bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, holding government accountable on some of the resolutions in the upcoming G20 summit were some of the issues raised in the dialogue.
We've had a very insightful engagement with students, very great ideas from the importance of focusing not just on the macro issues such as the economy and security, but also looking at, social issues such as mental health. There's one student that spoke about the importance of mental health and how that affects young people. There was one student that spoke about public health care. There was a student that spoke about social welfare. So these are all of the issues that came out of our engagement with the students today, and we will definitely be compiling this engagement as part of our report going into what ultimately becomes the Leader Summit from the voices of young people in the country.
One of the students raised concerns on the lawlessness in relation to the resolutions taken in the summit, as the states are not obliged to implement the resolutions immediately.
Even though it is not a rule that is legally binding, but it has an influence on how states operate. So it's not a rule that is provided for in a certain act or legislation or a convention, but states still act in fulfillment of resolutions that have been agreed on in the summit.
Financial literacy was raised as one of the issues that negatively affect the success of informal businesses.
My emphasis is going back to financial literacy, because in many cases when people are done with school curriculum and they probably want to open up businesses, it takes them way back again because they now need to go learn the basic financial ways of doing business, of which is also delaying kind of like the self-employment situation. I want it to be embedded back into our curriculum in university and back in high school, I think, which is very essential in high school, as that is where the streams are then separated, the commerce from the science. It's very important there because some people it only ends at high school.
There is a huge divide between the rich and the poor. Private institutions only cater for 20% of the population, but they have most technology and resources. So something that South Africa can learn from these other countries is things like countries like South Korea. South Korea is a very technologically advanced country, even in healthcare. So that is something that they can take or they can share or learn from South Korea. And also countries like the UK that focuses on equity, even at a point of healthcare, where we say that we are trying to bridge that gap and close that gap between the rich and the poor.
The G20 summit will take place in Johannesburg in November. Nomzwanele Mngoma at Mthatha.